Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and this time it's going to be a bit different from the ones that I've did before. This time I'm going to share my experience in applying for a Korean visa. My brother and I, and together with my sister's daughter and yung mother-in-law ng sister ko, we applied for a visa last January 2023. So I have been approved for a single entry visa, and as well as my pamangkin was granted a multiple entry visa, and yung mother-in-law din ng sister ko, nabigyan naman siya ng single entry, but my brother was denied. Just before I get started on the details, I am employed. My brother is a PWD. He has autism, and my sister will be financing his travels going to Korea, and same goes for her daughter, of course. And my sister nga pala already has a multiple entry visa going to Korea. First time ko mag-apply, first time din ng brother ko and ng anak ng sister ko. But the mother-in-law of my sister, kapag Korean na siya before. So in this video, I am going to share with you what we did to secure an online visa appointment sa Korean Embassy, and as well as engaging an agency, paano namin fill out yung application forms, and kung ano man yung mga documents na sinubmit namin, and any other additional documents that we have submitted to support our application. Also, I'm going to share a couple of tips, learnings from everything in our visa application. So if you have been planning to go to Korea or apply for a visa application, you have seen that recently, just this year, 2023, the Korea Embassy implemented a new policy where you have to book your own slot for a visa application. What does this mean? So, ibig sabihin nun, one applicant must have one secured online reservation sa Korean Embassy. So, actually, the Korean Embassy allows you na isama mo yung family members mo sa iyong online reservation. So, just as long as they are your immediate family, that only includes your parents, yung asawa mo, and your children. So they have abolished their previous process of having secured slots, specifically allotted for travel agencies. As I've mentioned, we have applied around January. So this was actually the first month that they have implemented the new policy. So we actually tried to book last December 29th pa for our January slots. O nga pala, I will be putting all of the links, all of the references that I've also used. If you need those links, you can visit them down. When does the Korea Embassy open slots for reservation? The Korean Embassy opens slots for the next month, every last Thursday of every month. Please do take note of the dates na kung kailan lang ino-open ng Korean Embassy ang online reservation for the upcoming month. A couple of tips when you are trying to book your own online reservation. You have to use different devices. When you are trying to access the website, you will be given different queue numbers in all of those devices. You will have better chances of getting into the website. Now, same as for using different devices, I suggest that you also use different browsers. Let's say you are using 3 devices, and each one of them, meron kang tatlong different browsers na naka-open. When we were trying to book our slots, I have used 3 different browsers. If you have 3 devices, you have also 3 different browsers, then you have already 9 na naka-queue. Another tip that I have is to get as many help as you need. Dahil nga, very challenging ang pag-secure ng online reservation sa embassy. So, paano ang travel agencies? You may be wondering kung pwede ka pa rin ba magpa-reserve through them? It really depends on the travel agency. So, make sure to go ahead and call your travel agencies as early as you can just to confirm their policy on that. Kasi I know that there are still some travel agencies that are willing to help you with your online reservation, but they are not that much accountable if they haven't secured your online reservation. So, much better pa rin talaga na ikaw ang mag-book ng sarili mong online reservation. Another question, hindi na ba pwedeng magpa-assist sa travel agency with your documents? So when I say assist is yung processing ng documents mo, submitting those documents to the Korean embassy. The answer is yes. Yun yung ginawa namin. We have booked our own slots, but yung processing na ng document, submitting it to the Korean embassy, gawa namin yun sa travel agency. You have to call your travel agencies beforehand to find out their policies and kung ano yung process nila. With our travel agency, which is Party On, located in BGC, kailangan mo lang ng secured online reservation with the Korean embassy for your visa appointment. Then they can assist you already with the rest of the documents. Now, as for the requirements, you can always visit the Korean embassy website to ensure that you have all of the updated requirements covered. As for myself, as an employed individual, ito yung mga sinubmit ko at the time of our application. You have the Korean visa application that needs to be computerized. It also needs to be printed in an A4 paper. You also need to provide or attach one passport size colored picture. I also submitted a PSA certified birth certificate. I have also provided my original passport and as well as the photocopy of nung bio page. Yun yung page na may picture mo and all of your details. So, finotocopy ko din yun. I have also provided my old passport kasi totally new na yung passport ko when at the time na I applied for a visa. Sa site ng Korean Embassy, sabi dito, kung meron kang visa sa mga OECD member countries, then you need to provide your old passport as well. Pero in my case, wala naman akong mga visas with other countries, but I still provided my old passport just because nandun din yung stamps ng mga old travels ko. I have also provided the latest copy of my COE. Important yung HR landline number and HR email address. Yung COE namin sa company, wala kaming landline number. I also had to provide an explanation letter explaining bakit wala kaming landline sa company and ano yung process na pwede nilang gawin in order to verify my employment with my company. Another thing that I've provided is my original bank certificate and as well as 3 months na bank statement. I actually didn't submit my personal bank account pero ang sinabit ko is yung payroll account ko because ang naririnig ko is that ang importante na nakikita ng embassy is yung pagpasok at labas ng pera. And I just thought na mas consistent yung pasok at labas ng pera dun sa payroll account ko. You also have to provide your latest ITR. At the time of our application, hindi pa nabibigay sa amin yung ITR for the previous year. So, I have also given an explanation to that. Kasama na yun sa letter ko dun sa walang landline yung company namin. I have just stated na hindi pa nalalabas yung ITR namin. And also, if you have a PRC ID or IBP card, you can also include that in your application. You just have to provide a photocopy of your ID. In my case, I am actually a licensed teacher, but my PRC has already expired. I didn't bother to renew it anymore because hindi ko naman pinapractice yung teaching. If you are going to ask an assistance from a travel agency sa pag-submit ng documents mo, you also have to complete a letter of attorney. This is just to show na you are allowing an agency to process your visa application on your behalf. And ito, pinaprovide to ng agency mismo. And kailangan nyo rin i-provide yung printed out copy ng online reservation nyo. For the documents na sinubmit naman for my pamangkin and as well as for my brother, which both sila iso-support financially ng sister ko. Just the usual things, yung application form, birth certificate, passport picture, their original passport, photocopy din ng bio page. And for my brother, we also submitted his old passport kasi may stamps yon from our previous travels din. Now, the only difference is is that they have additional documents in order to prove the relationship between them and my sister. The first document that they have submitted for this is the Affidavit of Support and Guarantee. So, etong document na to, ina-explain lang ano yung relationship mo doon sa applicant. You have to put there your relationship towards the applicant as well as their details, full name, passport number, and the same goes to you as the one supporting. You also have to provide your full name and your passport number. Since you will need to prove your relationship with the applicant, kailangan mo i-provide any documents that can prove your relationship with them. So for example, yung sister ko, sa anak niya, yung birth certificate ni Vika will do for the application. But let's say for my brother, yung documents na provide is yung birth certificate ng brother ko and yung birth certificate ng sister ko din, so that may kita na same yung parents nila and they are indeed siblings. Since yung sister ko, meron na siyang multiple entry Korean visa, nilagay din yon sa affidavit of support na meron siyang existing multiple entry visa. Binigay din namin yung photocopy ng passport niya and ng kanyang visa. The one financially supporting your travel will also need to provide financial documents that includes the original bank certificate and bank statement for the past 3 months. If the one supporting the travel has a business or is employed, they would need to provide any documents that would support that. So for my sister, since she is employed, we have provided her COE. And since my sister is a lawyer, so we also have her IBP card photocopied and inattach namin yon sa both applications. Now, the only difference ng application ng anak ng sister ko and dun sa brother namin, because my brother is PWD, so we have an explanation letter explaining his condition, that he has autism and all of that, and we have also attached a photocopy of his PWD ID. So for the visa application form, make sure to download the latest version in the Korean Embassy website. So I won't be going into much details when it comes to the application form kasi there are lots of helpful blogs out there, but these are just some of my notes from my experience. Doon sa details of visit, you will be asked for your intended period of stay, intended date of entry. Hindi in-encourage ng embassy for you to go ahead and book in advance yung mga hotels nyo, your airline tickets, kasi nga, that doesn't guarantee na ma-approve kayo ng visa. So, in our application, we were actually very accurate because we were planning to go as a family and we have already booked our tickets in advance. So, we have inputted there 31 March as our date of entry sa Korea, and our length of stay was actually 10 days. So, yun din yung nilagay namin sa application form. But I've read in some online forums na you don't really have to indicate the accurate number of days in your application kasi nga nothing is confirmed yet. So you can just put a minimum of 5 days or 6 days or even 4 days. Then you can just put an estimate of the date kung kailan kayo papasok ng Korea. Now, dahil nga hindi nga ini-encourage ng embassy na you book your hotels, hostels, or Airbnbs in advance, you can just put any hotels or any address in Korea. What we did for our application is that naghanap lang kami ng hostel around Seoul and put their address doon sa application form and as well as their contact information. You can go into Google, madami dyan na makikita nyo. In the application form, you will also be asked to list down any travels outside of Korea for the past 5 years. Kaya ko pinrovide din yung original passport namin because we had travels outside Korea na covered pa within that 5 years. So, ang ginawa namin is the latest 5 years lang yung nilagay namin doon sa part na yun. Now, let's get into the funding details part of the application. So, nagbasa ako ng mga blogs online and I've seen na yung mga estimate ng daily spend sa Korea as a tourist is around 80 to 90 US dollars. So, what we did, nilock na lang namin to 100 USD ang budget namin per day. So in 10 days, that would be 1,000 US dollars. Just to make sure, sinobrahan ko siya, ang nilagay ko sa application ko is 1,200 USD for the entire stay. Now, for myself, as I am going to support my own travel, ang nilagay ko doon sa name of person, under the funding details is my name, and the relationship is ang nilagay ko myself. And doon sa type of support, ang nilagay ko is financial support. And of course, I just indicated my contact number. But if you are an applicant and may ibang magsusupport ng travel mo, you can put their details there, the name of the person who will be supporting your travel, your relationship with them, and as well as their contact number. As I have mentioned at the start of the video, my brother was denied of a Korean visa. So, dalawa actually yung reasons kung bakit siya na-deny. One, number 7, you failed to provide sufficient explanation on the purpose of stay. And the other is actually invalid online reservation. So, because the embassy doesn't really give you a detailed explanation or hindi talaga nila pinipinpoint na itong part ng application kayo nag-fail or something like that. So, you have to try your best and guess kung saan kayo nagkamali. So for the reason na hindi na state or na explain yung purpose of travel, most of the people na nade-deny sa Korea, ito yung reason na nakukuha. Now, for my brother, I think where we went wrong is that doon sa employment part, because we think na unemployed siya, because it's true, he is unemployed, he's not working. Siguro nakita ng consul na assigned doon sa pag-review ng application ng brother ko is he is already 28 years old, unemployed, reject. So, something like that. Even na meron kaming may explanation letter stating his condition and as well as attached yung kanyang PWD ID. I think yung term na unemployed is taboo for the consul na na-assign sa brother ko. Now, I have actually shared this experience in a Facebook group called South Korea for Dummies. And I have shared na, yun nga, na-reject yung brother ko. He is PWD. And some of them actually shared the things that they've heard or stories that they've heard from other people, as well as their experiences. So, there was a couple of people saying nga na may mga kilala sila na na-reject din yung kapatid nila or yung kamag-anak na PWD. They're also traveling with a group and yung PWD lang yung hindi na grant ng visa. And there was actually this one person that has shared her experience in applying for a Korean visa together with her brother na PWD din. Halos same din yung scenario. Yung brother niya will be financially supported by their mom and nag-grant ng visa itong brother niya. But there are actually differences doon sa paano sila nag-fill out ng application form. So, they didn't indicate or they didn't specify there na unemployed yung brother niya, but instead they ticked others and put the reason as on vacation, since yun yung advice na nakukuha nila from other travel agencies then every time they apply for a visa. For the last reason, which is an invalid online visa reservation, I do admit that this may be by mistake, because when I was actually calling travel agencies, tinatanong ko din yung process of the online reservation. So, an agency actually mentioned, okay lang kapag magkapelido kayo, since magkapatid kayo, pwede kayo sa iisang online slot. So, that's what I did at first. So, at the time na binubuk ko yung online reservation ko, I also included my brother's details dun sa note. But then, after a few minutes, my friends and I realized na, balikan nga natin yung post ng embassy sa Facebook. So, we did that. We have seen na hindi nakalagay yung siblings doon sa immediate family na classification. We went ahead and got my brother an individual slot sa visa application. It can be 2 things. Nakita na dalawa yung booking or reservation ng brother ko, which is 1 is under my name and 1 is solo. Second, pwedeng nakita yung reservation ko lang na under siya ng another person, which shouldn't be the case. Baka yun yung thinking nila. And they didn't really check if meron nga bang solo reservation tong brother ko. So if you are watching this and may alam kayo kung what you think we should do in our next application going to Korea with my brother, please share what you think, or the experiences that you've heard, or maybe your personal experience in also having a PWD apply for a Korean visa. Kung ano yung dapat namin gawin sa next application namin. And we were actually very sad when we heard the news. But I will still be going to Korea. It's just that, it wouldn't be with family, but with my office mates. But hey, siguro hindi pa lang talaga yung time na makapunta si Gab sa Korea. We will see, and we will definitely apply again. So that's it. So those are the things that we did. I have shared with you the things that have worked for our application and what didn't. But if you think I have missed out on anything, please feel free to put them down in the comments. If you also want to share your experiences, go ahead and share them down below. I am looking forward to going to Korea, and actually I will be staying in Korea for I think around 12 days. I'm very excited kasi parang college days ko pa talaga gustong pumunta ng Korea. Dapat pupunta na ako noong 2020. I have everything sorted out na, pero the pandemic happened, and this time we are really going to Korea for the first time. You can go ahead and subscribe if you want to watch those upcoming vlogs very, very soon. So yeah, that's it. I hope you have picked up a thing or two in this vlog, and I hope you found it helpful. Until next time, thank you so much for sticking around. Bye!